Here we go, opening tip. Chris Webber and Mark West, the official. Billy Oakes, Mike Mathis, Greg Willard were underway, and the Suns control. Here's Kevin Johnson, named to Dream Team 2 today. Barkley, turnaround over Houston. And he breaks the seal. Barkley had 36 points, 18 in the first quarter in game 1, plus 19 rebounds.
You think Barkley is nervous? He doesn't even know how to spell the word.
Chris Webber with a quick reply. Webber had 17 points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists in game 2. Missed a triple-double by 1 assist. Now Marley over Mullen. It hits the 24-second clock. So the Warriors will take over. The 2 Warrior wins against Phoenix in the regular season came in Oakland. Barkley did not play in one. He was here in body only in the other. Well, we said on the open, he really must break loose, shooting just 36% of the series. Quickly down, Marley, no. Off the Mullen rebound. Here comes a high-stepping Webber to Houston. So a fast start by the Warriors, and it's 7-2 Golden State. This is Barkley posting up against Houston. The turnaround. He is so tough, particularly on the left side of the floor.
You simply can't stop that shot. Now Sprewell hits his first 3 out of the gate tonight. He was 1 for 8 on Sunday. Webber gets upended, does not get a blocking call. Nelson is going nuts.
He is beside himself on the sidelines, and Webber in the face of West now. So the trash talking starts early.
That may have been a little more than trash talking. Maybe Webber is a little upset that he got upended. That was pretty dangerous.
9-4, the Warriors by 5. Here's Barkley again, trying to get position on Houston. And prior to the shot.
Number 25, Byron Houston, first personal, first team.
So the bad feelings begin early. They carry over from games 1 and 2. And AC Green isn't even on the floor yet.
I'll tell you, this crowd is into the game. They are as loud as they are at America West Arena, which is about the loudest in the league.
The fadeaway, Barkley goes glass.
Number 34, Charles Barkley.
3 outside shots. They've all gone down for Charles tonight, and Houston's doing a nice job on him, not letting him get in.
Here's a steal. Barkley, the reigning MVP, squeezes through, and he's fouled as Billy Owens tagged him.
Charles Barkley lives for these moments. A situation where he can help put the Warriors away, where he can make the big plays of the game. A moment ago, Webber goes in, thinking about dunk. Mark West comes over. No blocking foul, the finger roll, and Webber goes sprawling. And yes, he did not like that play.
In the face of Mark West, Charles Barkley experiencing muscle spasms in his lower back during practice yesterday. Sat out the second half of the workout. However, Suns trainer Joe Prosky said Barkley is okay and ready to go at full tilt here in game 3.
Yeah, don't read those game notes because they are not a factor.
And Barkley makes both, and he is off to another quick start, Jim, with 8 points. And the Warriors by 1. Sprewell puts the moves on KJ.
Spree.
Good pump fake. Spree's 2 for 2.
It is 11-8 Warriors. And Spree and Webber all over KJ.
Little double team out front. KJ finally gets rid of it, gets fouled on the play.
And he hits the hardwood very, very hard.
Number 4, Chris Webber.
Webber, the foul.
And Webber excited that he took the foul. The trap. Sprewell doesn't let him go to the right. Webber closes off the left. Good adjustment. The double team. And at the end, the hammer.
Here's Barkley now. Good hands by Houston. He worked it free and then chased it down himself. Sprewell off to Owens, wide open. Barkley. And Kevin Johnson, who has totaled 63 points, 16 assists in 2 games. Good defense down low by Weber. Weber springs it into the forecourt. Shovels it to Owens.
Billy Owens.
Transition game has been the difference thus far. Warriors running at will.
Now, can the Warriors keep it up for 48 minutes? They have been inconsistent in this series. West, and he is more. Houston and Owens converging.
Watch Mike Mathis as he discusses with Greg Willard the tempo of this game.
And it's an offensive foul. He threw an elbow. West can't believe it.
Number 41, Mark West.
And Paul Westphal is livid. Of course, Mike Mathis, you recall, is the referee who gave the second tee early on to Patrick Ewing on Sunday.
The foul into the chest of Billy Owens before the reach around by Houston. Off to a fabulous start. It is 3 for 3, Steve.
5 points.
Look at the not only double team, full court pressure. They are really trying to make this a full court game, inline to inline. Spree, inadvertent foul, runs into KJ.
KJ sliding across the foul line, and he really has been bodied. The Warriors so far making the adjustment on KJ, and it's been all physical. The Warriors 7 for 8 from the field out of the gate. They lead 15-8.
Their next foul will put them over the limit.
Here's Barkley again, so tough on that left side. Squares up over Houston.
Number 34, Charles Barkley.
And how do you stop that? He's got 10. Here's Sprewell quickly down. Houston, good play by West. Out of bounds to the Suns. The fans felt West fouled Houston. 15-10 the Warriors with Kevin Johnson bringing it down. Paul Westphal barking out signals.
It's been the most physical game in the series so far.
West, he does not get the roll. Out of bounds off Houston with Ceballos smothering him. So far, it is 15 to Barkley. Barkley has all 10 Suns points. Here's Charles. One-on-one with Houston. What's he going to do?
Houston's making him shoot outside.
And he buries it. It's
Number 34, Charles Barkley.
Make it 12.
the Warriors 15, Barkley 12. Barkley loses possession, and so does Owens. And then the foul on Billy Owens, his second early, as he fouled Ceballos.
Penalty situation.
Steve, he really made a poor decision after he regained possession of the ball when Barkley lost it, because there was nowhere for him to go. Now watch the ball scoot off Barkley's foot, but 2 defenders are back, and he did not see KJ. 2 defenders besides KJ, he took it into trouble rather than bringing it back out, appreciating the possession.
All right, so number 2 on Owens as Ceballos goes to the free throw line.
The one thing you can't knock tonight, and that is the hustle, determination out of the gate by Golden State.
They are at their peak in terms of intensity level, more so than in games 1 and 2. Ceballos is perfect.
Scoring down 8 points a game from his regular season average, which you saw of 19, but the Suns are 2-0.
And he wants redemption after missing the finals last year with a foot injury. Weber with the ball fake behind the back. Not the first time we've seen that. Houston, and it counts.
Houston's been the recipient of both behind the back passes, served up by Weber, going to the line when we come back.
They all rise at the Coliseum Arena. The Warriors by 3.
The pressure of playing in New York City.
Welcome to
AC Green hearing it from the crowd as he reports in. He's got 25 points, 17 rebounds off the bench in 2 games.
They opt to bring in AC Green and not Oliver Miller. This is a very tough front line for Golden State. It's a front line that can run the court.
Good shooting from the floor. The Warriors 8 of 11 to start the game. So they lead at 18-14, 6:45 remaining in the first. Warriors have been extra physical on Kevin Johnson. And Houston in his face, and down goes Johnson, and the foul on Houston.
Yeah, Houston could not avoid the contact. Now, the way he could possibly have avoided the contact was to go to the shooting hand, go by the right arm, but he went to the left side. and came into the body of Kevin Johnson and laid him out after the shot was released.
Well, Jim, it's a simple fact. When KJ plays well, the Suns usually win. So the Warriors have gone to the aggressive tone against KJ.
Gets his first point at the free throw line. KJ without a field goal. In fact, all the Suns are without a field goal with the exception of Barkley, as we mentioned.
Chris Gatling replaces Houston, and it's 18-16. Warriors by 2. Here's Sprewell, who has been hot. Sprewell with the stutter step. Gets into a crowd, out of congestion, and Owens is there.
The extra pass by Sprewell. I like the penetration. Here's the double team, and it results in a turnover.
No, it will be Phoenix ball. Sprewell contending it went off the leg of KJ.
I thought it did go off the shin of Kevin Johnson. But nonetheless, they've set the tone.
Well, the Warriors are looking for the answer against Kevin Johnson, and it seems to be working so far. Warriors by 4, and they have contained KJ. Midway first. Can they contain this guy, though? Gatling now will try. And Barkley, doesn't matter whether it's Houston or Barkley or Weber in the first game, Barkley just keeps coming through.
That inflamed back is really hurting him, isn't it?
Yep. What a move. Chris Weber with a pretty move. 22-18.
Such great ball handling skills and able to turn right the lane.
And KJ plus the foul. When he goes left, he usually drives. He usually penetrates. But that time, the Warriors cannot cut him off.
Now, this is a tough foul. Billy Owens, who's gotten off to a great start, has his third personal foul. First, we watch Weber, the spin move around Barkley, and the finish with the left hand. But watch the arm of Billy Owens, the left arm. You see, very innocuous contact, but Billy has a habit of sticking out that arm, and he picked up the foul called by Mike Mathis.
That could turn out to be disastrous. It is now 22-21 Warriors.
Really tough call because Billy simply let him go.
I mean, just beyond the halfway point of the first period. 3 on 1. Pretty move. Sprewell realizes this is it in his first ever NBA playoffs.
Okay, he is in a mindset tonight. He has all the toughness inside coming out.
Zavalos over the rim. Green keeps it alive. Loose ball picked by Sprewell. Sprewell looking around. Back to Mullen. Underneath the Billy Owens. And Gatling.
How many hoops in the paint?
The Warriors overall, Jim, 12 for 16. Zavalos.
This is the type of pace Golden State wants. Phoenix will still have that mentality that they'll be able to outscore their opponent.
Now here's Mullen. Oh, Gatling didn't expect it, but saved. Spree wide open for 3.
Spree for 3.
His second of the night from 3-point range. Sprewell with 12. He's 5 of 5 from the field. Warriors by 6. Biggest lead 7. Barkley answers right back with a 3 of his own. What a competitor.
It is effortless right now for Barkley. Mullen yet to take a field goal.
It's almost scary in terms of Barkley. Back tap, swiped out of the air by Johnson down to Marley. Marley with Mullen. Oh, what a play by Barkley! It was off the rim.
It was certainly off the rim. Everybody wanted offensive interference, but that was a tremendous individual effort by Charles Barkley.
Jim, he has 19. He has outdone himself in the first quarter in game 1 by 1 point already. Unbelievable. He's 8 for 8. Some bad back. And Weber is pushed by Barkley.
Yeah, if I recall, he had 18 Charles Barkley did, along with 11 rebounds in that first period of game 1. Marley misses, Sprewell challenges. Makes him think about the shot. It comes off the rim, certainly off the rim. Look at the height. Barkley slams it down with the left hand. What a tremendous effort by Charles Barkley.
Number 1 on Barkley. Avery Johnson, who has made no bones about the fact that he is disappointed over the minutes. He played only 1 minute in game 2. Now there's some blood on the lower lip of Chris Gatling. Tommy Abdenauer attends to that. So Avery Johnson, who has done a pretty good job on Kevin Johnson over the years.
We'll see how that pans out tonight. I'm not surprised that Don Nelson has chosen to bring in Avery because he needs to slow down KJ. They've done a pretty good job so far.
Excellent job. Chris Webber, now in illegal defense, number 1 on Phoenix. Warriors by 1, 3:31 remaining in the first. As Paul Westphal paces, usually poker face. This is the most emotion we've seen on Paul Westphal's face in a long time. Weber, one hands it over to Spree. Looking for three, he's got it. That's his third of the quarter. Oh, what a quarter for Sprewell, who now has 15.
He's making a believer out of me, Steve.
He's 6 for 6 from the field. Overall, 3 for 3 from beyond the arc.
Number 21.
I went on record and said I thought he was shooting too many three-point field goals.
Yeah.
But here at home, he has certainly found the range. He was only 1 for 8 in Sunday's game.
Well, he is home on the range here at the Coliseum Arena. That's 3 on Houston.
Another assist by Weber, finding the open man over the top of the defense. And Sprewell's 3 three-pointers have found nothing but the bottom of the net. They're not even hitting the iron.
AC Green, who has been accused of dirty tactics by the Golden State Warriors. He hits the first, and they stop the bleeding on Gatling's lip, and Byron Houston shaking his head negatively to the bench.
One thing I like about Sprewell's performance, though, he has changed one thing. Besides shooting well tonight, I see no trash talking. He's going about his business, knocking down the jumper and then just running back on defense and playing it at that end.
Well, I feel that when the Warriors start into that mode, they lose their composure. That takes them out of their regular game. And Sprewell, a key guy, as Johnson just lost the handle.
Let's see how AJ defends KJ.
KJ lets it fly, forced the issue. Full extension by Barkley down to Avery Johnson. Warriors have the numbers. Ball fake. That's his pet move. Avery Johnson.
All he has to do is freeze the defense for a split second, and he gets himself to the rim.
And the other thing, when AJ's out there, it lets Sprewell concentrate more on his offense. Barkley, oh, brother. He's 9 for 9. Charles Barkley with 21 points here in the opening quarter. They get it back. Here's Barkley.
2 steals by him.
He's unbelievable. He had 4 steals in game 1.
If he makes this.
3 points, number 34 for Charles Barkley.
Exhibition by Charles Barkley. He's 10 for 10, and he has 24 points in the first quarter. That's his second 3.
He surprised everyone on that one as he brought it down court. That's a shot you would normally love for him to take.
He's putting on a Herculean performance here in the first. And there's Weber.
Both teams lighting it up.
The Warriors are shooting 76%, Phoenix 57. 36-35, Golden State by 1. Barkley for 3. Unbelievable! Charles Barkley, he's not human. 11 for 11, 27 points in the first. 7 for 3. His first field goal of the night.
Steve, I want to point out, as well as the Warriors have played, as well as they shot, 77%, they only lead by 1 because of an individual, Charles Barkley.
He's got 27 of their 38.
Give him the ball.
11 for 11 from the floor. And Cedric Ceballos inside. 40-39 Phoenix. 1 minute left in the first. A phenomenal quarter for Charles Barkley. 1 for the Bucks. Sprewell goes down. And a call by Mike Mathis. Perfect himself tonight with 6 for 6. He's got 3 from three-point range. Barkley, 11 for 11. And now Sprewell. Flagrant foul was called on Kevin Johnson just as we stepped away for a commercial. So it will be Warriors possession as well. And now Frank Johnson is in for KJ. Sprewell misses the first.
His first miss from anywhere tonight. Now, who would have thought if you could have told a player you'd have 15 points in the first period and now 16, but you would be upstaged by a guy who has 27. This is one heck of a first quarter, Steve.
Well, we see another 3 by Charles for 30. Here's Avery Johnson with Frank Johnson.
I mentioned that Charles is 3 for 3 from three-point range, as is Sprewell.
Absolutely. However, tough angle for Jeff Grayer. He gets
Number 44, Jeff Grayer.
He caught it nicely. His first field goal off the bench. Warriors by 2, 38 seconds. Here's Frank Johnson.
I'm sure they're not cognizant of the record, but it still should go to Barkley.
But cognizant of the fact that Barkley would like the ball. Nevertheless, A.C. Green, no.
Warriors will go for 1.
And that is the indication from Don Nelson. 15 seconds and counting in the first.
Both teams over 40 in the period.
Two of the top scoring teams in the league living up to reputation. Mullen, no. A lot of pushing and shoving. It's going against Grayer. That's his first.
Number 44, Jeff Grayer.
A.C. Green will go to the line
with 1.6.
25, Oliver Miller.
Mullen off the front of the rim, hits the board, bounces out. Yes, clearly Jeff Grayer holding on to A.C. Green. You're looking at a potential tie first period when it comes to a close. If AC makes both of these free throws.
A.C. Green, 2 championship rings from his days with the Los Angeles Lakers. Leads a deep bench.
45, A.C. Green, 1 shot.
Paul Westphal called him the MVP of the regular season for the Phoenix Suns. What an acquisition he turned out to be after 8 years with the Lakers.
How well he played when they won the 7 games coming down the stretch to finish the season. 19 points, almost 13 rebounds a game for Phoenix.
He had 16 in game 1, 9 in game 2, but 10 rebounds. Tied at 42, 1.6. Avery Johnson from behind the midcourt line. It came close.
You know what's big? The big numbers.
Barkley shot 27% from three-point range, but he did make 48. He did attempt 178.
Danny Ainge into the ball game.
Speaking of three-pointers,
he's the best in terms of playoff history. Here's Sprewell. Sprewell is 6 for 6, now 7 for 7. Fans want a foul, so does Don Nelson. Latrell Sprewell has 18 points. The Warriors by 2.
that was not an easy shot in the face of a tremendous defender in A.C. Green.
Oliver Miller into the ball game now. Here's A.C. Green. So it's Green, Ainge, and Miller, part of the very talented bench for Paul Westphal.
Big front line now.
Barkley with Grayer. The duck on a move. His first miss, and then he gets it right back after the 24-second clock was reset.
Number 34,
He's relentless.
And maybe his unit. He's now 12 for 13. 29 for Barkley.
Chris Mullen.
His second field goal. 46-44 Warriors.
Again, the good aggressive play, but the Warriors can't put him away despite this torrid shooting that they put up.
Miller to Barkley. Barkley with the stutter step now. Barkley again. Barkley again. How many times?
34,
You ever seen a quicker jumper? Anybody quicker to the basketball off the board than Charles Barkley?
He's already got 31 on a block by Miller. One of the best in the business with those long arms. Down it goes to Green. And yes, the Suns know how to fast break too. Plus the foul. Sprewell picks up number 2. As the Suns go down like a bullet.
15, Latrell Sprewell, second personal, first team.
A.C. Green with the ball. Watch him, or excuse me, A.C. Green on the left. Watch him run the lane as Barkley goes up in the air to make the pass. Barkley knew exactly what A.C. would continue to do, and that is run toward the hoop.
And he completes the three-point play. A.C. Green, who has been very disruptive, causing the Warriors to lose their composure on several occasions this series. Warriors down 3. Sprewell fouled by Ainge. His first.
Number 22, Danny Ainge, first personal.
Danny Ainge, after a scoreless game 1, came back for 13 points in game 2, hit a pair of threes. Billy Owens with 3 first-quarter fouls makes his first appearance of the second period. Sprewell 2 for 3 from the line. Tonight's scores around the league brought to you by Payne Weber. We believe our most important investment is an investment in relationships. The only other game was in the East as New Jersey prevails over New York in overtime, 93-92.
So they are still alive. It is not a sweep by Pat Riley's Knicks.
2 games to 1 in favor of the Knicks. 49-48. The Suns by 1, 10-18 to go in the first half.
All-out denial by the Warriors, trying to contest every pass.
Barkley does not get the roll. Barkley finally gobbles it up. Over to Mullen. Quick release of range for 3. What a beautiful catch and shoot by Mullen. And the Warriors by 2. Mullen has 8, and he's 2 for 2 from 3-point. Now Barkley again. Barkley makes the turnover. The help out by Gatlin. Owens had Mullen in the corner. Now, better late than never. He tangles with Ainge in the foul.
Timeout. On the court.
That's his second. Time on the floor. 9:29 to go in the half. 51-49 Warriors. Well, Charles Barkley, who calls the regular season the preseason, he calls the playoffs the real season, and that is exactly how he is approaching it. He has had an unbelievable first half. 31 points, 27 of the first quarter.
And you touched on why a lot of people think that the Phoenix Suns could go all the way this year. They were laying in wait. They did win 56 games. That's the 3rd best in franchise history. Barkley missed 17 games. Kevin Johnson 15 due to injury, and Ceballos 29, but they're primed for the playoffs.
The crowd erupts as Barkley continues to have at it with Billy Oakes. And the technical by Mullen.
I don't think that you will see a duplication of the New York-New Jersey game last weekend, where Ewing was ejected in the second period on his second technical by Mike Mathis, who's officiating this game tonight.
Some in New York, my sources tell me that Mathis may have forgotten that Ewing had a technical earlier.
Makes sense.
Unbelievable call that was. Now Danny Ainge with his 3rd.
You recall in Sunday's game, the second game of the series, Paul Westphal inserted Danny Ainge. He started him in the second half in place of Cedric Ceballos. Chris Mullen went on to a 19-point quarter, and right now, Danny Ainge has 3 fouls, and he has to leave the basketball game, yet to score with 3 fouls.
And he gave an earful to Billy Oakes as Dan Marley checks in. Marley came up with perhaps the biggest shot of game 1 after Keith Jennings put the Warriors ahead in the 4th quarter. Marley came back and stuck a big 3, and the Suns never trailed again. 54-49, the Warriors by 5. 9:12 to go in the half. Kevin Johnson has been quiet because the Warriors have adjusted well on him, played him physically. Now he gets free and cans it.
Now, one thing you've got to remember about Kevin, he's not thinking of duplicating the 38. Barkley has taken over the scoring load, so Kevin hasn't had a lot of chances. Mullen is red hot right now, no matter who's defending.
Chris Mullen really feeling it. He is 4 for 5, has 13. Warriors up by 5.
Good pressure on the ball by Billy Owens on the switch.
Scooped up neatly by Miller, not easy. Broken up by Sprewell. He got a hand on it. Mullen for 3. Breyer battles with KJ. Breyer got it back good. Stick to it, a miss by Breyer.
Big sequence in this first half, Steve, to give them a 7-point lead.
And that matches their largest, 58-51. The crowd wild. Here's Marley. Again, the Warriors contesting everything. Marley dumps into the paint. Good defense. Marley doubles it up and scores.
Number 9, Dan Marley.
Mullen cherry picking. They couldn't find him.
Gatling never saw him. If he'd have taken it out right away and looked down court, Mullen had an easy layup.
He got behind the defense. Billy Owens scoops up over Green.
Billy Owens.
The Warriors are shooting 73%.
If you don't like this game, you don't like basketball. This is absolute all-out fun.
60 points, and we still have 7:24 to go in the half. And Barkley is pushed. Charles Barkley, Fouled on the play by Jeff Grayer, and that's his second. Cedric Ceballos coming back for the Suns, and Oliver Miller will depart. Miller did not score.
It's been defense by committee. Grayer is the third defender they've had on Barkley. They started the game with Houston, then they brought in Gatling, and now they've got Jeff Grayer. And nobody able to make any kind of difference.
Well, he's looking for point number 32. Well, he's now 3 for 3 from the line.
Rebound, Kevin Johnson, challenged by Billy Owens. Grayer hangs around, picks up the garbage, gives the Warriors the 7-point lead.
He misses his first free throw in 4 attempts.
We got to credit Don Nelson for this game plan to get these young guys for the Warriors to come out and play with this kind of intensity. If they can sustain it for 4 quarters, it'll go 4 games at least.
Now here's Jeff Grayer. Grayer with the windmill. The putback attempt by Owens, but he is bottled up. Warriors by 6 minutes to go in the half. Marley skips it over to Barkley. Met immediately by Grayer. And off the ball, down goes Gatling. Prior to, they call it on Gatling.
Timeout, Warriors.
Something I have never seen here at the Coliseum Arena, a fan in front of the expensive seats leading the cheers. Responding. And so was Cedric
Number
Ceballos.
23, Cedric Ceballos.
A 60-56 Warriors by 4. The Warriors shooting 72% from the floor here in the first half. Sprewell putting a foul.
KJ with his second.
Number 7, Kevin
the
Johnson. Commits his second
They denied
personal
Kevin
foul.
Johnson the path to the basket. You saw a swarm
Phoenix
of defenders go at
14
him.
foul of the period.
Yet
Charles
Ceballos
Sprewell.
picked up on the offensive rebound. Sprewell continues to pour it on.
Sprewell. Sprewell was 6 for 6 from the field in the first half, 16 points. Gets 1 out of 2. He's got 21 points. He's high in the series, game 1 when he had 22. 61-56 Warriors. 6:20 to go in the half.
Switching out on with Billy Owens and the rotation underneath.
And Sprewell able to knock it out of bounds. 7 on the shot clock.
Just great communication among the players tonight. Plus the mindset to go out and challenge.
Desperation can do that. Mullen. Here comes Sprewell. One hops it to Gatling.
And I know Don Nelson is thinking, why didn't he dunk it?
He went for the finesse and it backfired. Here's Marley. Around Mullen. Gorgeous move by Marley. And Don Nelson pounds his hand on the scorer's table right in front of us. That was a big swing. Sprewell, they double team him. Deflected by Green and rejected by Barkley. Kevin Johnson now. Johnson trying to go all the way, and he is mugged. Sprewell with his third.
Number 15, Latrell Sprewell.
Marley back to the Thunder Don of the past. The Thunder Dan, I should say. Little crossover dribble. Eludes Mullen on his way to the basket. He used to play that way all the time. He's been criticized for becoming too much of a three-point shooter in the last couple of years.
As Kevin Johnson steps up to the free throw line, he's 3 for 3. Tomorrow at 6:30, the Giants host their arch rivals, the Dodgers, led by Tommy Lasorda. If you want to see this game and the rest of the Giants season on Sports Channel, just call 1-800-926-SPORTS or your local cable company. Chris Webber for Chris Gatling. Gatling with 2 points, 5 rebounds.
You know, not to undermine, Steve, what the Warriors have accomplished thus far, but don't you think the Phoenix Suns feel good? The Warriors have been blazing the nets, and yet it's a one-point basketball game.
The Warriors at 67%, the Suns 54. Sprewell. And the rebound to AC Green, their second leading rebounder during the regular season behind Barkley. Barkley for three. Marley underneath. Too easy. That time the Warriors not sticking to it after the miss by Barkley. 62-61. Phoenix by one.
Billy Owens
nails it. Owens playing with 3 personal fouls. He has 8. He's 4 for 6. And the Warriors regain the lead by 1.
Yeah, Billy Owens has to continue to play the aggressive defense and yet be very careful in some of the decisions, particularly with KJ.
Marley, 192s for 2 threes for a new record this year. Green with the
45.
Ceballos got loose underneath, and Billy had to play him very softly to avoid the foul. AC Green gets an easy pickup as the defense converges.
Has a nose for the ball as we just seesaw back and forth. The Suns by 1. What a pace here in the first half. Things beginning to simmer down just a bit, level off, and it's understandable as Avery Johnson checks back in for the Warriors for the foul play, Billy Owens. Owens leads 8 points, 2 assists, 1 rebound, but 3 fouls. 7 on the shot clock. Sprewell, almost twisted it home. Kevin Johnson digging Sprewell, smothering it. Oh, look out as Barkley goes flying, an elbow from Sprewell. And now Barkley has to be restrained by his teammates. 4 on Sprewell.
Warrior foul charge at number 15, Latrell Sprewell, 4th personal
Well, there's no
foul.
question Sprewell meant to get
15th
contact.
foul on the Warriors.
He did not try to fight around the screen. He just simply said, I want to go through Sir Charles.
And he got back up quickly as if to go at Sprewell. He was pulled back by KJ.
Now the question is, will it be labeled a flagrant foul? I don't think it should. That's just a good, hard foul. Unfortunately, though, it's the 4th on Sprewell.
So he's got 4. Owens has 3. Houston has 3. And Barkley to the line.
Charles Barkley, 1 plus the penalties.
Keith Jennings into the ball game. As Barkley sets, he's 3 for 4. Charles Barkley with 33. He's already near his total from game 1, 36. During the regular season, averaged 32 points, 11 rebounds against the Warriors.
One of the top 5 American athletes as far as endorsement money.
Welcome everyone to the NBA.
Suns by 3. Keith, Mr. Jennings fakes the 3. Here's Avery Johnson. The Warriors with their small backcourt. The paint guards, as they call them, not the point guards. Here's AJ, stripped by Marley.
I got the numbers.
Ceballos. And Don Nelson wants time. And a psyched up Cedric Ceballos. Charles Barkley, 34.
And in case you're wondering what his career playoff high is, 43. He got it last year against the Seattle Sonics. It happened to be the 7th and final game of the Western Conference. So he does indeed rise to the occasion.
His regular season high, in case you're counting, 38 this year. Here's Keith Jennings for 2, rebounded by Ceballos. The veteran Frank Johnson with Keith Jennings. Barkley with Gatling defending. 8 on the shot clock. Steal. Avery Johnson. Marley not in communication with Barkley. Now here's Mullen for 3. Got it.
Mullen for 3.
That's his first 3 of the ball game. And Chris Mullen now with 18. Ceballos. Barkley deep corner. Less than 2 minutes.
Of the period.
Gatling tries to put the clamps on Barkley. 5 on the shot clock. Turn around Barkley. No. Taken by the littlest man, Mr. Jennings at 5'7". He motors. Puts it up. No. And whistle, loose ball foul against the Warriors. Chris Webber. That's his second.
Number 4, Chris Webber, second personal foul. Penalty situation.
Cedric Ceballos getting a little breather sitting in front of us, and as long as he keeps his distance from Tim Hardaway, he's okay.
That's what I was thinking. He does not go down to the Warriors bench.
He's learned his lesson after being practically tackled by Mr. Hardaway in game 1. AC Green. 6 for 6 from the line. Don Nelson to insert. Jeff Grayer. Keith Jennings will go out.
Number 44, Jeff Grayer returns.
The strong Jeff Grayer back in with that big upper body. Green missing the second. Warriors down by a pair. Illegal defense. It's a technical.
Illegal defense.
Paul Westphal, bewildered, puzzled.
Resulting in a technical foul to be attempted by number 17.
And Chris Mullin will attempt the tee.
Paul Westphal's competitive fire doesn't show. It burns inside.
Yes, it does. Former teammate of Don Nelson's, 3 years with the Boston Celtics.
He only looks laid back.
Yep.
He used 15 different starting lineups because of a variety of injuries this year. He says, I have emotions, and if players work hard, I don't complain. If they're not trying, I get all over a player, and I have.
That's about the only time he'll do it. Incidentally, Mullin with 16 of his 19 this quarter. Warriors down 1 minute 15 to go in the half. Barkley again makes the turn on Gatling and gets the step.
He uses his body about as well as anyone I've ever seen play this game.
He's got 36, and there's the roll for Grayer. 6 points for Grayer off the bench. 72-71 Suns, under a minute to go in the half.
They really haven't double-teamed Charles Barkley that often when he gets to the low block.
Warriors at 62%, the Suns 55 from the field. Marley with Grayer. The fadeaway by Barkley. He buries it again. He's got an astounding 38 points in the first half, plus 7 rebounds. Webber.
Quick, aggressive move. And
out of bounds. And the Warriors regain.
Do the Warriors have enough time to get a quick shot? Kind of a tough decision to make. 33.6 seconds to go. Will they push it up and try to trade 2 for 1?
They can take the lead here. The kick out by Johnson. Gatling with an air ball. Grabbed by Barkley. Here's Green. Look out from behind. It's Gatling chasing. Green into the corner. Ceballos, top of the key. As they look for perhaps the last shot.
Yeah, the Warriors really outsmarted themselves on that last sequence, the last possession.
About a 2.5 differential on the shot clock. Frank Johnson with the launch from 3. Webber's got it. And with a 2.5 loose ball foul against Phoenix. It's on Barkley, I believe.
Number 9, Dan
Nope,
Marley.
it's on Marley.
Warriors come out smelling like a rose with 1.5 seconds to go. Webber has a chance to tie or take the lead to go into the half.
Number 1 on Dan Marley, and Chris Webber will step up. First time tonight, 1 for 6 from the line of the series, just 53% on the season. Webber, who was given his Rookie of the Year trophy earlier tonight, throws up the brick.
41, Mark West returns.
Mark West, who got into early foul difficulty with 2 quickies, replaces Barkley, who hears it from the crowd, but sits with 38, 15 for 22, 8 rebounds.
You get in that zone, and it just, you know what's going to happen. He almost banked it in, Webber, but it was to the side.
And that'll do it for
At the half,
the first half.
73 Phoenix.
Paul Westphal, you wonder, something for Westphal to play with in the locker room. An incentive note for Phoenix. The last 5 NBA champions swept their opening round series. We'll see what happens. Chris Webber has other ideas. And the Warriors, just like that, seconds in, recapture the lead, 75-74.
Beautiful entry pass by Owens on the little give and go. KJ comes back with a little 18-footer on the right side.
Kevin Johnson was limited to 9 in the first half, now with 11. The turn by Owens.
The Warriors are attacking before the Phoenix defense can get set.
2 quick baskets for Golden State, and they lead at 77-76.
They want to speed up any kind of half-court game the Golden State Warriors do tonight.
As Cedric Ceballos hits, Joe Klein into the ball game for the first time in the series. Weber from outside, rebound Barkley. Barkley, who had 38 in the first half, the playoff record 39 by Sleepy Floyd for 1 half. Kevin Johnson trying to be a little too fancy. Ceballos finds Barkley. Charles Barkley has 40.
The bounce of the ball.
80-77 Suns. The quick release by Mullen. Chris Mullen, who had 16 of his 19 in the second, now has 21. 7 for 9 from the floor. Suns by 1. And Kevin Johnson swarmed under. Sprewell with number 5. Latrell Sprewell with his 5th foul.
44, Jeff Grayer returns for Myron.
And a look of daze on the faces of Nelson and Popovich.
Same kind of play Kevin Johnson made in the 3rd period of that second game, where he put in a left-hander when he scored the 17 points in that 3rd period.
KJ 6 for 6 from the line. Avery Johnson for Latrell Sprewell.
Another look at it. Kevin Johnson actually drives better going to the left, but you saw a host of defenders come in, 3 to be exact. But unfortunately, Latrell Sprewell relegated to the bench now. That was a factor we talked about, Steve, right before the opening of this second half.
So Sprewell with 21 points, sits now with 5 fouls. Billy Owens. But the Warriors have so many guns, so many weapons. We'll see if somebody like Owens steps up and picks up the slack. 82-81 Phoenix. 2 minutes gone by in the 3rd. It has been close throughout. Biggest lead, Warriors 7, Phoenix 5. Joe Klein, first shot of the series. Air ball. Somebody got a piece. Here's Billy Owens into the forecourt. Weber. And the pass for Johnson, rescues it, but throws it into the hands of KJ. Ceballos. Oh, what a play by Grayer, but backing it up was Marley. Dan Marley with 10 all from the floor.
Going to be very important to see the next few minutes come about with Sprewell on the bench, and the Warriors have to maintain their composure.
Pivotal as Grayer connects. Maybe it's Jeff Grayer who will provide the extra offense needed. He's got 8. Warriors within 1. Greg Popovich screaming out, pick it up defensively, and Barkley is fouled by Weber, and that is number 3 on Chris Webber.
When Charles Barkley turns and faces the basket and brings Weber away from the basket, it makes it very tough for the young rookie Chris Webber, Rookie of the Year, to pick up the defense. Barkley knows that. He's got a live dribble. Weber doesn't want to crowd him too much, so consequently he reaches out, hits him on the forearm.
He's 5 for 6 from the line. A one-man wrecking crew. Charles Barkley tonight. Right now, a beleaguered-looking Don Nelson with Sprewell on the bench with 5 fouls. Dan Marley is back as Klein sits with a big smile on his face. Fans behind the Phoenix basket waving their white Warrior towels handed out tonight. It doesn't bother Barkley.
What bothers Barkley right now is he missed the first free throw.
Really upset with himself. 85-83 Phoenix. But Barkley with 41, a perfectionist. Under 9 minutes remaining in the third. Weber with AC Green. Snaps it in. Here's Billy Owens with the fake. Nice pump fake setting up the bank shot. And Billy Owens really beginning to show his form now. He's got 14. The quick release for three by Marley now. But stepping in was Barkley. And Charles Barkley has 43.
Which, according to the stats given to us, ties his playoff career high.
Mullen from deep. That's a long two for Mullen. Mullen's got 23. Quickly down floor. AC Green tied up by Jeff Grayer. It will be Phoenix ball off Grayer. Good hustle, though, by Jeff Grayer.
I want to make mention about Barkley. I recall now, this is not in the stats. Here's the last shot. Marley misses. Barkley takes up inside, takes residence. And now Kevin Johnson from the corner back to the live action. 2-point basketball game.
And Avery Johnson the other way.
Pace is too fast to get in all the facts. I'll talk about it when Barkley goes to the line.
I tell you, Jim, you're right. It is furious right now. 89 all. 4 minutes into the third. AJ on KJ. And Avery Johnson ties him up, but Kevin Johnson gets loose for the moment. Deals it back to Green. 10 on the shot. KJ baseline with Grayer. What a pass to Sabalos. You talk about recognition. Kevin Johnson with a gorgeous feed.
What made the play is he looked to the middle, looked off the defenders, and found the wide open man underneath.
7 assists for Kevin Johnson. The Warriors down by 2. Avery Johnson gets the pick from Weber. And AC Green collars it. KJ down to Marley. Marley with the head fist. Blocked by Weber with Grayer helping. It comes out to Avery Johnson. Warriors have numbers, 3 on 2. The trailer Grayer. Jeff Grayer, a factor off the bench. He's got 10, tied at 91.
That was a big sequence to block Marley.
Here's another one.
Yes.
AJ with the steal. AJ beats KJ. Oh, did that have to feel good for Avery Johnson?
To recapture the lead.
93-91 Warriors. 6:48 left in the third. Marley pulls a Marcus Haynes. Weber on his back. Snaps it ahead to Mullen. 3 on 2 if they hurry. The trailer is Grayer. Wouldn't go. But a foul. He got pushed from behind. You'll recall angered by comments made by Kevin Johnson earlier this year. KJ passed over for Dream Team 2, but now today named to Dream Team 2. And here's AJ in action. You'll recall KJ said, next thing you know, they'll be putting Nick Van Exel and AJ, Avery Johnson, on the All-Star team. And AJ is expected to not take kindly to those words as Grayer hits the first foul shot.
Kevin Johnson later recanted those remarks and knew it wasn't in quite the taste that it came out.
The two met once after that incident, Jim, and you'll remember that Johnson, AJ, tied his career high with 23 points plus 12 assists against Kevin Johnson.
And Kevin Johnson was 3 for 16 from the field. But this is a new day.
Oh, Avery! Or I should say AC Green barrels in, and the foul on Grayer.
Number 44,
That's his third.
One thing you've got to give AC Green credit. He did not shy away from contact. This was a tough foul. Now, Grayer held his position, but AC Green went right in to Jeff Grayer, trying to knock it home over the top. That's just a big contact play.
Green going airborne against Grayer. Grayer with 3, AC misses the first. He's 5 for 8 from the line. He was 9 for 10 from the line the first 2 games. And really getting razzed by the crowd. This is the most vocal and animated I've seen this crowd this year.
Well, they
Look
know
at that scene.
it may be their last opportunity. They better let it all hang out.
And he misses both. Warriors by 4. Hanging tough. 6:25 left in the third. Quick release. Mullen for 3. Weber had it, and it's off Phoenix.
Good call. Weber had inside position. Mullen was 3 for 4 from 3-point range the first half. Sprewell 3 for 3. The Warriors as a team 6 for 8.
And expressionless Paul Westphal looking on. Mullen finally recovers. Plenty of time. Weber back to Grayer. Wide open. And Charles Barkley corrals it. Barkley's got 11 boards to go along with his 43 points. KJ.
He wanted that screen a little lower. Didn't elude Johnson.
Pretty pass again. Oliver Miller, the recipient.
They didn't close off the baseline. Got to get some hands out so that he can't thread the needle.
Miller's first field goal, 95-93 Warriors. Weber in New Orleans. 16 for Billy Owens, all from the field. He's 8 for 10. The Warriors shooting 65%. They lead by 4. Here's Barkley with 43.
No double team, and now it comes, but maybe a little late.
A wide open Green. And he was the open man.
You can't get caught in between. If you're going to come double team, you've got to come and attack the ball so that not only does Barkley not score, but he can't pass out of it.
The runner by A.J. The tip by Weber. The instincts and fingertip control of the rookie, Chris Weber. Warriors up by 4. Quick release now by KJ. Taken by Grayer. Snaps it ahead of Johnson. He lobs it down low for Owens. Ripped off the rim by Barkley, who has to stop to tie his left shoe.
Great pass from Avery to Billy. Good communication. KJ answers at the other end.
And it was a 4-on-5, Jim.
I was going to say, despite Barkley never making it to half court, he had the flat tire.
Indeed. He was camped underneath the other basket, tying his shoe. Warriors by 2. Now Owens backs in. A little help by KJ. Owens snaps it over. Pretty ball movement. Johnson can't stick it. And Barkley finally gets the rebound. Now here's KJ. Marley. Gorgeous head fake, but lost the handle at the last second. And out of bounds.
Mullen got a hand on that ball initially. Marley tried to score off the board, but Mullen got a hand on the ball from behind.
They're going to rest Barkley. Ainge comes in.
See, Mullen made him change his shot. As he tries to recover, bounces on the line, or else his foot just came over the line.
Just by a toe. So Ainge in, Barkley out with the 43 points. Warriors by 2, 3:50 to go in the third. Jeff Grayer underneath, rejected by Miller. Here comes Kevin Johnson. The steal by Miller. 3-on-2. A.J. Weber rolls it up, no, but he's fouled as Danny Ainge came in on him hard.
Great play by Mullen again. Unfortunately, the ball did not go down for Weber. He has been abysmal from the free throw line. Mullen, I don't know how he reached across KJ without avoiding contact. Weber doing everything he can to get that ball down, but the foul, a tough one by Danny Ainge.
Number 4 on Ainge, and Chris Weber, who was 1 for 8 in the series, finally gets one tonight. Now 1 for 3. So the Warriors hit the 100-point plateau. There's the line on Chris Weber, who came close to a triple-double in Game 2. 1 assist shy. 10 assists in this game. Banks it in. Hey, there's a new twist. Any way you can get them. 101-97 Warriors. 3.5 to go on the third.
Yeah, normally you would be embarrassed by that. You didn't call it, but not tonight.
Oh, what a feed. KJ to Miller.
Kevin Johnson has not been the scorer tonight, but let me tell you, he has been the floor general. He has made several beautiful passes here in the third period to set up easy baskets.
Jim, that was his 9th assist, 5th in the league overall this year. 101-99 Warriors. Now here's Owens. The Suns stepping up the defense with the steal. Danny Ainge. Great job by Green at the other end. Kevin Johnson eye to eye with Grayer. The Suns set up the half court. KJ. And nobody home. Looking for Oliver Miller. Out of bounds.
Well, Weber knows that the time is now.
101-99. The Warriors. 2:45. Can the Warriors extend it to a 4th game on Friday? Looking to avoid the sweep. Avery Johnson with Kevin Johnson. AJ stays right with him. 10 on the shot clock. Here comes Weber. The ball squirts loose. Miller ahead of the field.
25, Oliver Miller.
101 all. 2:20 to go in the third.
We talked about important possessions. Let's keep track of how the Warriors handle those situations. Still a lot of time left, but it's all knotted up.
Every possession so critical right now. 3 on the shot clock. Greer.
Well, you mentioned, could he step up in Sprewell's absence? I think he's done a tremendous job, Jeff Greer.
14 on 6 for 10 shooting. Not bad.
Billy picks up the foul from behind. That'll be his 4th.
Sprewell still on the bench with 5.
It's his 4th personal foul. Warriors first in the last 2 minutes.
It'll be a non-shooting situation. Now here's Danny Ainge. Number 1 all-time in playoff threes made, 143. Number 2 all-time, 924 behind Dale Ellis. And on cue, he unloads from 3. Wouldn't go. Miller gets it back. Ainge passes up the 3, puts up the 2.
Finally gets his first points of the night. I mentioned he was lit up for 19 in the third period on Sunday by Chris Mullin, but Paul Westphal opted to keep him in the game, and he did come around in that 4th period, hit a couple of threes. In fact, he opened the 4th period with a big 3. They're going to need him in the ensuing series if they go that far.
Tied at 103. Chris Webber now bangs into KJ off the Greer. AC Green pulls it down. Coming up to the final minute of the third. Marley for 3. Marley upset. He thought he was fouled by Mullin. Here comes Miller. Miller too hard. Miller gets it again. Weber with the defensive play. Here comes Owens. Billy Owens squares up into the hands of the KJ.
They want a quick shot.
Marley gets it, and he's fouled. Jeff Greer. Number 4 on Greer.
Jeff Greer commits his 4th personal. Warriors 15 fouls
Marley
in the period.
with 12. Weber sits Gatling's in.
For Chris Webber.
Kevin Johnson just pushing it up and making Greer commit, so he does not have the angle to get back to Marley. Doesn't even foul him hard enough to take away the basket. Marley looking for the 3-point play.
Dan Marley totaling 36 points coming into this game, plus 8 rebounds, has 12 tonight. First appearance at the foul line.
This is one of those possessions coming up right now for Golden State. Looking upward to the score, they've got 40 seconds. They can trade 2 for 1. Let's see how they handle these 2 potential possessions.
Avery Johnson, there's 1, and the Suns by 1.
They fell apart in game 2 at this juncture. About the last 3 minutes of the third period, the Suns went on an 18-2 run.
Spearheaded by Kevin Johnson, who had 17 in that third period. 106-105 Suns, 15 seconds, about a 7-second differential on the shot clock. Rebound Gatley, who just came off the bench. Billy Owens, 7 seconds in the quarter. Billy Owens storms in, puts it up. Tipped up and in by Gatley. Yes, it was off the rim. No interference. Oh, it hit the rim. They might have a chance for another one. Owens puts it up. No, it was close.
In the NBA, every second is big. And
Jennings, 3. It doesn't get better than that. And they're standing 15,000 plus at the Coliseum Arena. Charles Barkley is back trying to test out the back. He's got 43 points. He may be hurting right now, but that won't stop him. Danny Ainge back to Marley. Marley straight away 3.
You can't leave him. You cannot leave Dan Marley. You can't go in and give help.
That's his first, 192 on the year, an NBA record, and he's got 16 now. Warriors down 2. Mullin looks to answer back. That's a long 2, just in front of the arc.
Again, in the first 2 games, the Warriors answered and answered again and again. Never got over the hump. They have to feel a little better from the home court.
Again, Dan Marley, his second straight 3. And Marley now with 19, and the Suns by 3. Almost a minute into the fourth.
He looked down on that one. Didn't look to the hoop until he went up for the shot. Trying to use a little decoy.
Excuse me. Sprewell's in there with 5 fouls. He's got it. Sprewell spins, gets it in. What a look to Johnson.
Avery Johnson.
Beautiful pass by Sprewell.
Not an easy one, too. He got double teamed, maintained vision, and threw to a small man inside. A little unusual.
112-111 Phoenix. Barkley with Gatling, 8 on the shot clock.
As you said, usually likes the left side.
And doesn't even matter anymore. And he's complaining that he was fouled. 45 for Barkley.
A little easier to bank from the right side, though, for a right-handed shooter because he doesn't have to square up quite as far. Doesn't have to rotate clear around.
Oh, bouncing off Marley to help out. The double team by Ames. Drops it off to Gatling. Gatling fouled on the play. He's grabbed. Barkley questions the call. It is on Charles.
Charles was making sure
Commits his second personal.
that it was not a real tough foul. He was going to go over and apologize to Gatling. See, Marley looked off Sprewell. Sprewell was shocked that Dan Marley took that three-pointer coming up in the early offense. Barkley's being very diplomatic right now, Steve. Do you get that feeling? He patted Chris Gatling before this quarter began on the hind end, little love tap, and he made that decisive foul, but came over and made sure that Gatling knew it was okay.
And Barkley with a career-high 45 points. He just picked up his 2 personal fouls.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier that he had 43 according to the statistic book, but it seems like I recall he got 44 against Chicago in the finals last year, but that's just from memory. I have to look that up, but the Suns guidebook says 43 against the Seattle Sonics.
All right, a delay here, and finally Gatling will step up to the line. Chris Gatling, first trip on the night, 8 for 10 in the series. 114 to 112 Phoenix. 2 minutes gone by in the fourth. Dan Marley, he gets in. Ooh, easy.
Gatling didn't want to leave Barkley, so he got caught in between and just opened the gate.
21 for Dan Marley. He had 8 at the half. Here's Spree for 2.
I think he's got to drive Danny Ainge. Sprewell can take him off the dribble.
4-point lead for Phoenix.
Talk about taking someone off the dribble. Marley has just done it here in the early moments of the fourth.
He is just taking over. If it's not Dan Marley, it's Kevin Johnson. If it's not KJ, it's Charles Barkley. AC Green, the list goes on and on. Danny Ainge, there's so much depth and experience there, and as Jim pointed out, 10 points, 10 of his 23 here in the early going of the fourth on 4 for 4. Got a couple of threes. All right, Chris Mullin laces up, ready to resume. 118-112 Phoenix.
This is one of those possessions I've alluded to. Down by 6. It's an important possession. Don Nelson called timeout, a wise choice. And the Warriors still, you can see, they've maintained their confidence throughout.
Here comes Avery Johnson, seeing the minutes tonight. Chris Mullin with Barkley. Tough pass. So out of that timeout, it's a wasted trip. Barkley. Money in the bank. 47 for Barkley. He's 19 of 26.
Can you imagine? 19 field goals, only missing 7 tonight.
And it counts. Danny Ainge with the foul. Chris Gatling to the line. Ainge with number 5.
Basket is good.
Byron Houston for Avery Johnson.
Good screen by Gatling. Barkley has to commit. The rotation is late by Danny Ainge. Good concentration by Gatling as he goes up the ladder and tries to convert a three-point play. Danny Ainge, tough night for him.
Zabalos came on for the foul-ridden Danny Ainge. Now Gatling, 0 for 1. Gets that one to go. 120-115 finish. 8:43. Dan Marley. Barkley. Backs in on Houston. Not got time for Barkley. Ripped down by Gatley. Here comes Sprewell. Warriors down 5. Lots of time. 8:20.
Like the decision by Sprewell to rotate the ball. He could have gone up. He was thinking about it.
And Spree just thought about a 3 for a split second. Threw it away. That's 2 bad passes in the last 3 trips by the Warriors. Leads to an easy break. AC Green.
Yeah, Sprewell trying to make the right decision. He's holding himself back. Had that tremendous first half, but maybe he'd be better off taking a shot right now. He has been hot. And so has this guy,
Mullen. But the Warriors shooting themselves in the foot. The last few trips down, they're trailing 122-117. Warriors only have 10 turnovers. This is a ball club that averaged 17.5 during the regular season. Barkley, and the foul as Houston got him.
21, Myron Houston.
could come down to experience versus inexperience.
And that has been the catchword all series long.
Byron Houston's first playoff series, beaten along the baseline by Barkley. This is his 8th playoff series, or 8th playoff year out of 10 in the league.
Jim looking now for his 50th point tonight. He's got it. 5-0-50. Barkley 20 for 28 from the field, 7 for 9 from the line, 13 rebounds. 125-117. This is their biggest lead. 8 points.
Spreading the floor, trying to get Sprewell inside. He's beaten Johnson.
Gets it to go. Sprewell has 23. His first 2 points of the second half. Still playing with the 5 fouls. Barkley with Weber. Barkley looking to pass, and away from the ball. Greg Willard makes the call. It's on Houston. And that's his 5th.
Now that's a tough play because Barkley was snookered along the baseline. Had nowhere to go. Weber all over him. Don Nelson looking on and maybe saying the same thing to Greg Willard.
7 minutes, Jim. 125-119. Warriors down 6. Green.
Plenty of time. They've got 10 seconds.
Marley. Shot clock is down to 5. Marley. And he's fouled. Chris Mullin.
Byron Houston, I believe.
As Marley steps up again. The previous high was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He had 45 in one game against Golden State back in '77. But Barkley with 50 tonight as Marley misses. 1 for 2 tonight. Was 6 for 6 from the line of the series prior to tonight.
He makes this. It's the Suns' 20th point of the quarter, and you've got 6:41 to go.
All right, 126-119. The Warriors down by 7. 6:35 on the clock.
They've been outscored 7 points in 5.5 minutes. So again, they've got to make sure they get good shots. This is a long three by Mullin, and he drains it.
Chris Mullin with the radar. 126-122. Warriors down 4. Sprewell leading the cheers. Wants to get the crowd going. It works, but Marley from 2 won't go. Rebound Houston. Warriors down by 4. Midway forward.
You can talk about Barkley with 50, but how about Mullin stepping up? The veteran on the club coming in with 30 playoff games in his experience and his repertoire. He's been big.
And 30 points. Here's Barkley now off the long rebound. Bumped a little by Owens, but gets away with it. Warriors down 4. 5:40 remaining in the 4th. Barkley fighting for position on Weber. Barkley faces up. 8 on the shot clock. Barkley now posting. Barkley stumbles to the baseline. Fade away. Unreal. 52 for Barkley.
And Weber did everything right in that defensive sequence.
Barkley 21 for 29. Stunning. Warriors down 6, 5-15. Now here's Sprewell losing the ball, but it's off Phoenix. And 6 on the shot clock.
Sprewell limited to 2 minutes in the third period because of foul trouble. Has only scored 2 points since the first half. He was 21 at halftime, including 3 for 3 from three-point range, 7 for 9 overall. And yet those fouls really hampered his offensive play.
Jennings in for Houston with the 5 fouls. Sprewell, tough shot, he drains it. Oh, tough shot from the corner.
He and Mullen have to keep pulling the trigger.
128-124, Phoenix by 4. 4:52 left. Spree with 25. Here's KJ with Mullen defending.
Nelson going with 3 guards.
Green now up the rim, rebound Weber. His 13th. Jennings. Fan dribbles, finds Spree for 3. And it snaps into the seats.
It was straight, but a little long.
Phoenix, timeout.
Timeout, Phoenix.
Big dunks.
Big night for Chris Mullen. The Warriors 7 for 10 here in the fourth from the floor, 70%. The Suns 9 for 12, 75. But the Warriors down 4. Suns ball. AC Green breaks into the clear and sets it up.
See, there was a 2-on-1 if he'd pushed it up, and yet he said, let's rotate it back. We'll play at the half court and go to Barkley.
This is the whole season right here. Coming up to 4 minutes. Barkley fades. And that goes.
How about the strength of Charles Barkley? Not easy to get it up there that softly.
Another Herculean effort. 54 for Charles Barkley. Now, Sprewell back to Jennings. Jennings tied up by KJ. It will be Warriors ball with 11 seconds.
Mr. J has got to take that shot. That's what he's in there for. He's got to pull that trigger, and he's got to do it from long range.
Warriors trailing by 6. Here's Weber. Weber. Ball comes loose. Sabalos saves, but as he goes into the bench, the ball will go to Golden State. 3 on the shot clock. Good try. Great hustle by Cedric Sabalos.
The Suns are smelling a sweep. Good effort by Sabalos. He was on the line.
And the Suns recover. Dan Miley.
Everybody just picking it up. You can see they're trying to deny, going for every loose ball, looking to make it an 8-point or a 9-point game at this juncture.
Biggest lead for the Suns all night, 8 points. 3.5 minutes in the fourth. Here's Marley from 3. Rebound Owen. Huge trip down the floor. Here comes Mullen now. Mullen fires. Not there. Weber, the follow. Taken by KJ. Wrestles for it out of bounds. And it will be Phoenix ball. 3:15 to go. 131-24. Phoenix, what happened? He stepped in. Whistle by Mike Mathis out of nowhere on the inbound. And a foul on Johnson. Kevin, that is.
He may have put a hand into the face of Mr. Jennings.
That's apparently what happened. Number 3 on KJ, and the Warriors take over.
A little stiff arm play.
Well, let's see if this turns out to be pivotal. Foul on Kevin Johnson. Weber back to Jennings for 3. Got it!
Jennings for 3.
The inside-outside game gave him a little room to release.
His first field goal couldn't be more timely. 3-point game. Just under 3 minutes. The chance of defense. And Mr. Jennings tangles with KJ, and Mr. not happy at all. He has a few words for the officials. Jennings with his first.
Number 2, Keith Jennings gets his first personal foul. Warriors' 4th team foul.
Non-shooting. Warriors down 3, 2:50 to go. Fourth quarter. Sabalos tied up, won't go. Loose ball out of bounds to Golden State. The Warriors have it. They're trailing by 3. Jennings quickly into the front court. And the foul on Jennings.
I'll tell you what happened. He lost the ball.
He lost the ball.
But he didn't realize
he could pick it back up.
You can pick it back up. It's called a fumble. He didn't want to touch it. He thought it would have been a violation. But as long as you pick it up and don't advance it, it is called a fumble. Here's Mr. Jennings coming over half court, loses it right here. Came out of his hands. Go pick it up. He was afraid to do that, and then he gets a very strange call on the foul.
Critical. Ceballos misses the first, so a little retribution for Mr. Jennings, who is hot.
And he was looking at Chris Mullin. He wanted to make a pass, and that's why he put 2 hands on the ball. And then when it went down again, he felt he couldn't touch it.
1 out of 2 for Ceballos. 131, 127. Warriors down 4. 2:36. Sprewell, fade away. Clutch shot by Sprewell, a 2-point game. 131, 129. Phoenix. 2:20 remaining. Regulation. KJ has to call time as it got bottled up by 2 Warriors. 22nd timeout. Wise decision by Kevin Johnson, because that came close to a jump ball. So it has come down to this. Will it be the final 2 minutes and 14 seconds of the year for Don Nelson, or will the Warriors pull it out and extend this series to 4 Friday night? Don Nelson working frantically in that huddle. There's the timeout situation, all even, 3 fulls apiece. Latrell Sprewell playing on borrowed time with those 5 fouls.
But has had a significant 4th period impact.
Yeah. He's got 27 all told. Mullin's got 30, but Barkley with 54. Here is Charles. Barkley gets in. 56 points, but he gives them a big 4-point lead.
Still complaining he didn't get to the line.
2 minutes.
Barkley's having his way with Weber because he's getting the ball with a dribble in his hand and utilizing that aspect of his game.
Shot clock down to 10. They go to Sprewell. Sprewell turns and fires. Going to be short. Good defense by KJ. Spins away from Sprewell. Warriors down 4. 1:42 to go. And now the Suns in no particular hurry. Marley way outside. They double up. Barkley with 10 of the timer, and it goes for Green. Puts it up and in as Owens hits the deck. What a shot for AC Green. The Warriors in desperate straits. They're 8 for 13 from 3-point range, 62%, but they're trailing by 6 points, and that could really factor in here with 1:30 to go.
That's why you got to give the Suns credit. The Warriors have given them maybe and perhaps their very best, and yet Charles Barkley and the Suns have answered the challenge.
And this sellout crowd on its feet, trying to exhort the Warriors. And the ball is turned over.
Again, that's the inexperience of playoff competition.
Marley, as the Suns milk the clock, down to 1:12 now. They are leading by 6. Marley with Sprewell. 5 on the shot clock. The middle going to be short. Taken underneath by Ceballos. Cedric Ceballos. And it's an 8-point game, matching their largest lead. Under 1 minute to go. Mullin. And Weber. And nothing going down for the Warriors. Billy Owens finally gets it to go down. 137, 131, 6-point game. 45 seconds to go.
Not over yet if you can make a steal, but they commit the foul.
Keith Jennings fouling Kevin Johnson. That's his third. As the Suns huddle up at the top of the key, led by Mr. Barkley. 41 seconds to go. 137, 131. Phoenix.
7, Kevin Johnson.
KJ to the line.
Penalty, 2 shots.
7 for 7 tonight. 12 assists to go with those 17 points. This is his first. Timeout.
Warriors, call time.
We'll keep it right here. 1 out of 2 for KJ. So Kevin Johnson, 18 points, 12 assists. And the Warriors down by 7, 138-131 with 41 seconds remaining.
Well, we talked about a couple of things before the series began, Steve. One was playoff experience. The Phoenix Suns cumulative 676 playoff games. That's the experience they had. The Warriors just 68, 30 by Mullen alone. And Danny Ainge, the 12-year veteran in his 13th year, 173 playoff games coming into this series. He's been to the NBA Finals 6 times, 2 championship rings. He wants to help Charles Barkley get his first.
That is the mission for Mr. Barkley after the frustration of getting to the finals last year and losing in 6 to the Chicago Bulls. They'll never forget that three-pointer by John Paxson. They want to erase the memory of that.
With 3.6 seconds to go.
Yes.
In fact, they're not even worried about the lack of home court advantage because they had the home court advantage via the best record in the league last year, and they lost all 3 games to the Chicago Bulls at the America West Arena.
And they played well on the road last year in the playoffs overall. They were 6 up and 5 down. So they were over 500 in the playoffs last year.
And one of their goals coming in as they poised themselves for this year's playoffs was to play fewer games. They were pushed to 5 games by the Lakers last year. The next series went 6. The next series after that, the Seattle series, Western Conference Finals, went 7, then 6 games in the finals, 24 playoff games overall.
And it behooves Charles Barkley and company to sweep, conserve their energy for the long, grueling road ahead. They're not getting younger.
Precisely.
So, the fans standing in salute of a great season, despite what happens here. Far exceeding expectations with 50 victories, despite injuries to key personnel. Sprewell into Owens, the ball comes free. 31 seconds remaining. Phoenix gobbles it up, and the foul. And the fans in tremendous appreciation, Jim, of the entertainment provided by the Warriors this year.
Yeah, that timeout, the Warriors come out. The fans know it's more or less a losing cause at that juncture of the game. But yes, they were saluting the 50-win season, the effort by the Warriors this year, and quite an exciting team that Don Nelson is building for the future.
A bittersweet salute as the Warriors just 28.6 seconds away from elimination as AC Green is at the line. He misses the first.
AC Green,
Here comes Ainge. And Charles Barkley will head to the bench. An incredible performance. Hugs Kevin Johnson. Dan Marley. High fives and embraces all around. 56 points, 23 for 31, 14 rebounds. A colossal effort by Charles Barkley. 139-131, Warriors down 8. Jennings slides in.
Number 2, Keith Jennings.
6-point difference. 20 seconds remaining. Kevin Johnson as the Suns spread the floor. Ball kicked by Owens. It'll be Phoenix possession. 17.5 seconds remaining. Well, the Warriors will be just this. It'll be just the second time they've been swept since moving to the West Coast in 62-63. They lost 4 straight to the Lakers in the 68 Western Finals. And Kevin Johnson jumps into the arms of Joe Klein over at the Phoenix bench. And quite a different story at the Warriors side.
Phoenix calls time.
Timeout Phoenix. So 17.5 seconds to go. The Suns by 6, 139-133. Don Nelson still coaching his heart out as he has done all season long.
And the Warriors forced a Suns timeout by overplaying on the inbounds pass. Not impossible, but highly improbable with 17.5 seconds to go, down by 6. Barkley is as loose right now as when he started the game.
What more can you say about him? He's chatting with friends behind the scorer's table. A study of Chris Mullin's face. Anguish, frustration.
How significant was that first quarter when both teams scored 42 to tie an NBA record for most points by 2 teams in the first quarter of a playoff game? Because I thought it was key that Charles Barkley in the first period set the tone for the game. He wasn't worried about the Warriors scoring 42. He had 27 himself, including a perfect 11 for 11 from the field and 3 for 3 from three-point range. Nobody had an answer to that.
He was unstoppable. Whoever you put on him, Weber, Houston, Gatling, Greer, you double team him, didn't matter. An inhuman effort by Barkley. What else can you say? So the winner of this series will go on to play the winner of the Houston-Portland series. Houston leads Portland 2-1. Game 4 Friday at Portland. 17.5. Warriors down 139 to 133. A gallant effort by the Warriors. Great shooting, 59%, but too much Charles Barkley and too much experience and too much depth by the Phoenix Suns. Jennings with his 4th. And Frank Johnson will step up to the foul line for the first time.
78% shooter on the year, 0 for 2 coming into tonight.
The veteran from Wake Forest, former Washington Bullet. The Phoenix bench itching to dash off into the locker room to celebrate.
Believe it or not, that's a pretty big free throw.
Yeah, it makes it a 7-point ball game, 15 seconds, 141-33.
You need 3 possessions.
Five seconds to go. And the applause builds for the Warriors from their fans, and that is it. The season is over for Don Nelson of the Golden State Warriors. Tremendous effort by the Warriors, but they get swept in 3 games by the defending Western Conference champion Phoenix Suns, who will move on to the next round.